customers saving energy, prevent gas, air, and moisture infiltration, as well as helping with general stability in your building structure, call us at 713-936-3021 or visit us online at nrgfoam.com for more information. NRG Spray Foam. Building green, living green.
This message was from a proud sponsor to KNLY 91.1 FM.
We are broadcasting live from the Woodlands, Texas to the world. You're listening to the only multimedia FM station in Houston, Texas. Your Fusion Radio. Top 40s, dance, Latin, country, pop, rock and roll. All in one station. Mixing genres and generations. You're listening to KNLY New Waverly, Texas. 91.1 FM, The Boss.
The program presented or submitted by members of our community and are a proud sponsor of KNLY 91.1 FM. The views expressed do not necessarily reflect those of KNLY 91.1 FM and its affiliates.
Good morning, and God bless you. It is Tuesday morning, and we're having a great day here at KNLY 91.1 The Boss. I'm your host, Orlando Daniels of Today's Entrepreneur, and I'm excited to introduce to you Miss Michelle Moreno, who actually have a whole nother dynamic in relations to business and the ethics of it. And so we're going to get right over into it, of Spark Financial Leadership Development. So we're going to talk real quick. Want to get her the opportunity to introduce herself, and then we're going to roll. So let's go.
Thank you for having me here today, Orlando. My name is Michelle Moreno, as you said, with Spark Financial and Leadership Development. We are a newer company. I have been in this business in the insurance and financial world for about 6 years now.
The first thing I want to do is, y'all see this? See my guest? She listened to one of the shows, and she knew I like my caramel macchiato upside down, stirred with the extra caramel and whipped, and she brought it to me. So we love gifts here at the station. But Michelle, when we consider finance and we consider leadership, one of the things I want to actually make our listeners and followers aware of is that you didn't just go right into this, because your background is sign language.
Yes.
And you've gone from sign language to stay-at-home mom to boys and girls, Scouts. You've done quite a bit. So what, outside of what I know, I want you to be able to tell the people how you made the decision to transition from being a stay-home mom and being involved in the community and some of the things that you were doing to now saying, I'm going to start my own business.
Well, part of that is, while being a stay-home mom, yes, I got my bachelor's in sign language interpreting. I did interpreting for a little bit, but I was also taking care of my grandmother at one time when my children were little.
Okay.
So what happened was, when my grandmother left, when she left, shoveled off the mortal coil to the next plane, she I was taking care of everything, and then I spent the next 12 years raising my children, teaching them to be leaders, not to follow, showing them the right path, putting moralities into them, helping them with their education. And my husband and I were really working really hard to make sure we had all that, to be very involved parents. Then Social Security doesn't send it out anymore, but they used to send out letters to your home saying, hey, this is how much you get when you retire. Mine was $300 for the rest of my life, because I was a stay-home mom for 12 years. Unfortunately, being a stay-home parent, you don't get a 401k, an IRA, you don't get an extra savings plan. If it wasn't for my husband taking the initiative and doing it himself, I was looking at $300. I looked at my kids, they're teenagers, and said, okay, which one gets to take care of mommy? When she's old and gray, who gets to take care of mommy? And I got a few things I said out of the kids, and I'm like, okay. They all said yes, after messing with me a little bit. So we moved across country, and I don't like working in corporate America. So I started my business.
I'm always, and if you go back and look at any of the shows that I've been able to do, is that I love to hear what motivates, what pushes us into our God-ordained purpose. And, for me to get a chance to interact with you just a little bit, one, you're big on the integrity of business, the accountability, the overall character of not just the individual, but the overall business or the brand. How was it for you to make that transition outside of saying, okay, this is a need here that's going to be beneficial to not just me, my family, and then ultimately, because I know you're about the customer service and you know, what made you decide that this is the turning point for me, that I really want to establish something, and what you do is not just geared towards insurance. You do quite a bit. So I want to give a breakdown of all the services that Spark Financial and Leadership Development provides.
Okay, first of all, going into business, why we have the integrity. I've always had the integrity, and I firmly believe you can do a financial business or any business and have that integrity. Part of is if it's probably already happened to me where I've gotten into the insurance world at first and somebody didn't have enough integrity and took a couple of my cases from me. Personally, I didn't like that, you know, for many reasons. One, it was my case I worked very hard on. And I put my blood, sweat, and tears on that. I drove all over Austin for that. I took care of that. I knew everybody's ins and outs, and then somebody else comes in and swipes it from you. So not only did they swipe my business, they also swiped part of my paycheck.
Wow.
So that to me shows low integrity of a person. That puts the determination in there going, you can have integrity. You can have a moral code and still help and be a service to people. And firmly believe that, and we are going to show everybody how to do that.
Now, give me, when we talk about leadership, and I understand the dynamics because I had a show recently and we've learned that, and I actually want to use a scripture here, is where we're taking advantage of in our ignorance. Satan takes advantage of us in our ignorance, and what we don't know, or people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. And so when it comes to finances, many of us are not groomed early on finances and, you know, stewardship and saving what we consider for the rainy day. Have you always been a stay-home mom? Have this always been a passion of yours in relations to financial stewardship and being healthy financially, as well as the leadership quality? Or is this something once you decided that there was a need here, I'm going to get involved?
Well, when I was a stay-home mom, we've had our perfect, we didn't have a perfect bringing up with our kids. Me and my husband, we've been married 25 years.
Congratulations.
So a lot of people, when they come across some struggles, like I said, we had a limited amount of money, changing jobs. I was a stay-home mom with 3 children and a grandmother. You come up with those financial issues. And once you've already had those, I've actually established a budget in our household and separated bank accounts financially and did my own education on that, because it made my life easier and it kept me and my husband on track with our bills and where we wanted to go and what needed to happen. And that's exactly what we wanted to do. And then we've used his finances into determining whether or not he should get a promotion or not, because we took into account the minutes away from the house, how long does it take him to get there, lunch, dinner, tolls, gas. We put all that into account, and living 15 minutes away from his job actually saved us quite a bit of money because we didn't have that extra spending and that extra time.
Talk to me in reference to the leadership aspect of your business.
Well, leadership is for me more showing what I'm showing everybody else and how we're going to do this business. I'm in a coaching program, and I have been in one for over a year, and I'm continuing it for year 2. And the name of it's Arte. And I'm being coached by our agency chairman and another very high-end business owners. And they are teaching us the proper way of how you should lead people. And part of that is showing by leading by example. And you don't just lead by example, you show people, you help people find their inner strengths that they have, because people don't realize what strengths that they have. So you help work on those and help them go forward to that and show them the right path to do so, and showing how they can do it with morality. Because whenever you have a conflict inside, somebody says, hey, you know what, you need to go do this, and you're like, I don't know, that just doesn't feel right. That goes against your morality. So knowing with that conflict to make sure you follow your own moralities.
You know, I tell people wherever you're whatever your passion is, that's where your peace will be as well. And whatever your passion is, that's what you're going to pursue. And so I'm glad to hear that you're not only passionate about what you do, but you're desiring to create that within others by which they can tap into that this is my overall purpose. And some people don't discover that this is what I was born and created to do until, way up into, a certain age. Some people come into early on. But the key thing is being able to utilize that influence as well as what we know that helps and aid others. What would be a good advice, I guess a good seed that you would plant in regards to someone in starting out in business?
Starting out? Figure out what you would like to do, what service you want to be in, and make sure you're in service of others. Because when you're in a business and you make it all about money for yourself, it doesn't really work out on a constant basis. Yeah, you can help yourself really quick. I know that everybody uses the analogy when you're on the plane, the oxygen masks drop, you have to take care of yourself before you can help others. That's true with finances, with business. But once you've made sure you're secure, you need to go make sure other people and be in service and help them along the way.
Sounds like the paying it forward.
Always.
Yeah, paying it forward. But, when we consider someone stepping out and what I call lunging into deep, big agency, Scott and Trey, they call it walking in darkness. And I think we all do that when it comes to business and engaging in anything that we may feel passionate about. What I teach and believe is that whatever God has called us to do is tied to other people. And so we know that we're in sync with what's beneficial or what helps and aids others. Now, give us, because you're involved in several aspects of insurance, so let's talk about some of the different insurance, some of the things that you provide in regards to insurance.
Okay, well, there's whole life insurance, which is permanent, and index universal. Those are all permanent. Then there's term insurance, which goes for 10, 20, 30 years. You pay that money, you're done, you don't get it back. One builds a cash value, one doesn't. Those are for life insurance policies. We also offer supplemental benefits as well to small businesses as a way to help retain and maintain, some of their employees and be able to give them some more cash back into their pockets if they need to with a catastrophic event. We also help with long-term care and disability insurance. The long-term care is just in case you never know what's going to happen. And if you do need it, how long you're going to have. We also teach what the state regulations are, Medicare and Medicaid, the different regulations that kind of go with that. And we focus on making sure we educate everybody on their finances so they can make an informed decision before picking anything that anybody else has to offer.
When we talk about supplemental, give a description a little bit more in relations to supplemental, especially for people who are small business owners, self-employed entrepreneurs, and us being on today's entrepreneur, a lot of people don't consider, should I have this in place?
Well, the one supplemental that I actually offer, it kind of matches very nicely with health insurance. So if you're a small business and you are able to offer or health insurance to your employees, you can still get the supplemental, which leaves holes. Health insurance, they have some holes. Between the copays, deductibles, how do you take care of those? Most people don't have more than $1,000 in their bank account. Supplemental kind of fills in those holes, so it's paid directly to you, not to the doctors and the hospitals. So the one I use, it gets paid directly to you, so you don't have to worry about, do I have to pay it for rent? Can I pay my car note with it? Do I have to pay the doctors and hospitals? The money you get, you choose where it goes. And being on, and when employers offer that to their employees, most of the time employees feel, well, they actually do care about me. I'm not just a number. And it is proven between Russell Branson and all the other bigger, more powerful people, it's proven that you take care of your employees, you care about them, they will stay, and they will show you loyalty. And building that culture. So, making sure that they're felt that they have actually heard and that you actually care about them. That's what it shows, being able to offer them some of these.
People want to know that they are important, valuable, and not just what you can get out, but what you can deposit in. And I think that's the balance that's needed and necessary in doing good business. Let me get you to give some information, especially for those who are listening and following and who may need to know, have a little bit more understanding. One of the things that I try to tell anyone, especially for you, I love the fact that you know your business, that you know what you're communicating, because most people don't. They just know a little fabric enough to try to close the deal, being the solution and not the sale pitch, and so can you give them some Facebook, Instagram, phone number, however they can get in contact with you?
Well, on Facebook, you can find us with Spark Financial Leadership Development, or on Facebook, it's at SFLD or Development. I am on Instagram at Michelle Moreno 847 and LinkedIn under Michelle Moreno.
Listen, you all want to get connected to someone that believes in not only the integrity, but she's compassionate as well as passionate about what it is that she does, and then those whom she's called to serve. So if you have any questions, not just in leadership, but just in financial, just getting healthy, how to transition going from being the stay-home mom and working one career to pursuing another, this is a great resource. This is a great connect. So I encourage you to connect with my friend Michelle Moreno and allow her to help you. Once again, I am Orlando Daniels. This is KNLY 91.1, the boss on today's Entrepreneur. Thank you again for my Starbucks.
No problem.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Always.
You all get in contact with her. Great source of great resource, great information. Once again, you all make it a great day. It's Tuesday. Be blessed.